What made you go no contact with your parents? My mom and I had a great relationship, except for the one thing that kept us apart, her need to put me down in front of others for validation. I tried talking to her about this. I've literally begged her in front of guests to stop embarrassing me for cheap laughs, but she just won't stop. She fully believes she's doing nothing wrong either. Last Thanksgiving, the whole family was talking about my uncle, when she randomly started showing everyone my embarrassing teenage pictures. Pictures I'd explicitly told her I hated and never wanted anyone to see. I asked her to put them away, but she told me not to be a buzzkill and learn to laugh at myself. My dad stepped in defending her, telling me, "Would you relax? Your mom's just joking around. Let her have her moment." This is just one of the hundreds of examples. I've tried everything to get her to see my POV, but nothing worked. And a few weeks ago, my relationship with her went completely south. It was her birthday, and I woke her up with breakfast in bed and a new iPhone like she wanted. But instead of showing me love, she gave me a lukewarm thanks and started cracking jokes to my dad and her friends on FaceTime about how bad my cooking was. This hurt a lot. I had worked so much overtime to save up for that phone, and that's what I got in return. But that wasn't even the real kicker. The real kicker happened later that evening during her birthday dinner. She was doing her usual, joking about how I used to get bullied by a girl in elementary school to make people laugh. And I know I shouldn't have, but I decided to join in, willing to swallow my pride and become the butt of the joke for my mom's big day. This was a mistake. My mom took this as approval to do the unthinkable. She got everyone to quiet down, and when we did, she pulled out my personal diary. "Let's see what goes on in that teenage brain, shall we?" She chuckled. Everyone laughed, but my world went silent. My face went pale, and I froze. And then, my mother said, "Ooh, look what he wrote here. I just got rejected by my crush and feel like a failure. I bet this will be funny." My dad was beside himself laughing, and just as my mother started reading, I snapped. I got out of my chair, stormed over, and mid-sentence yanked my diary off her. I looked at her in the eyes and mouthed, "How could you?" And for a second, I swear I saw guilt, but that quickly vanished. My dad came behind me, yelling at me for being ill-mannered and shouting that I've ruined mom's birthday. She then backed him up, telling me to learn to take a joke, and tried yanking the diary back, but I didn't let her. I just ran upstairs, tears streaming down my face. All the guests left within a few minutes. The party was ruined. I didn't speak to my parents for the next few days, and I planned to keep it that way until I was forced to, because that's when my mom stooped to a level I didn't know was possible. You see, I'd been seeing a girl I really liked for the past few months, but seemingly out of nowhere, she ghosted me. I found out after being stood up on a date where I waited over an hour for her, and when I checked my phone, I was blocked. I remember being broken. Julie had been my crush for over a year, and she brought me happiness like no other girl ever did. Mom knew this. I went home devastated, and when I saw my dad sitting on the couch, I just let it out. I didn't even care if he called me a wimp or anything. I just needed someone to talk to. But instead of laughing at me, offering advice or anything in between, he looked at me like a deer in headlights, almost like he knew something. I picked up on this. I asked him if there was something he wasn't telling me. He said no, but his eyes told a different story. I kept pressing him, and it's only when I threatened to stop contributing toward rent that he gave in. He admitted that my mom contacted Julie and told her to leave me because she feared for Julie's safety. She told Julie I was dangerous, had anger issues, and made up disgusting lies about how I like to tell my mom the graphic details of what I do in bed with girls. She hammered down on this last point, embarrassing me and making me out to be a freak. My mom put on the waterworks in front of Julie, who became so scared of me, she just decided to never speak to me again. I went blind with rage when my dad told me. I stormed up to my room, where I kept exactly what I needed in case my mom ever took it too far. My dad kept asking me not to be mad, making excuses for her and saying I can win Julie back, but I wasn't planning on being mad. I was planning on making her pay, and when my dad saw what I was holding, he asked me to please be civil and think about this, but the time to be civil was over. Fast forward to next week, I was hosting a redemption birthday party for my mom to make up for ruining her real one. It was going great, until I got everyone's attention. I saw my dad start to sweat because he knew what was coming, but I had threatened him into staying silent. I brought everyone's attention to the TV, telling everyone my mom had been working on a project she wanted to show everyone. She had a confused, borderline worried look on her face, but I just smiled at her and mouthed at her, "Don't be a buzzkill." I then plugged in my USB drive, a USB drive filled with hundreds of embarrassing videos of her, all taken by me, all in the event that I needed to use them one day. There were videos of her getting cake smashed, screaming, raging about how the TV won't work, punching a wall because she ran out of ice cream, and many more embarrassing things. Guests erupted in laughter. I did too, but then as I looked over at my mom, she wasn't just mad, she had steam coming out of her ears, and in that moment I knew I was gonna regret what I did. The rest of the full story is on my channel.